just we just it's just going to be like a consulting business right now just to get our foot in the door because we are going to focus on government contracts for right now.
Okay. All right. Well, you in the right place, both of you guys. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
I don't know how you all say I don't know how it just popped up, but I'm a believer in God. God places people where they need to be at the right time. Amen.
Amen.
And
So this morning we going to go to church. It's just you all just um it was just two of you all that signed up. But we'll see. Right now, as you all know, and I love the intimacy because I can just be me right now. I'm very transparent in what I do and how I navigate in this space. But right now, y'all know it's crazy out here, but it's also temporary with this administration. And now I say, if anything, is our time to become prepared because government contracts aren't going to ever go away. Yes, they're messing with a lot of the programs that have been geared towards our community, but the work still needs to happen. So I keep saying this is our time to mobilize. Let them continue to do the chaos at the top, but we need to be focused with boots on the ground. That's my mission for this year. And to me, you have to understand why you're going into business. What is your why? And my why has been my father, who was one of the first Black police officers in my hometown in Asheville, North Carolina, who had to sue that white police department based on discrimination and them taking his stripes away as a sergeant and and suing them and winning. And once he won, he decided that he retired and then he ended up running for city council. He won and he found land by the projects and felt like those kids needed a park. So he got it funded. And so we now have a park in his name in Asheville, North Carolina. So I like to always start out with who I am. Originally, and welcome blessing. Originally, I'm from Asheville, North Carolina. After college, I went to Washington, D.C., and my first job was with a company that was a part of the 8A program. Have any of you ever heard of the 8A program? I want to make this interactive, y'all. Mhm.
No.
No, Amelia?
no.
No.
Okay, we're going to talk about this program. This is our generational wealth program. My first job was with a company that was a part of this program. And I ended up attaching myself to one contract. And every 3 years, I went to a new company that was a part of this program, where I went through 6 companies before I decided to take the middleman out and start my first business in 1996. The first year in business, I won my first $1 million contract. Second year, I applied into the same program and won another $3 million contract. And I continued to grow the business where I had almost $15 million in contracts and almost 40 employees. And that's where the challenge began because I had no clue what I was doing. And I had 2 business partners, one who was just crazy, who felt like he could run all his personal expenses through the business. The last straw for me was a $3,000 custom made pinstripe suit with his initial going down the pinstripe. Negro, you have lost your mind. I had my assistant to do an audit on his credit card. He takes her in the elevator and threatens her. I then terminate him. He then conspired with two employees, one with whom he was sleeping with, to sue me and the other partner for sexual harassment. 2 years of attorney fees, 2 years, 125,000 in attorney fees, 100,000 to buy them out. I had no more operating cash, so I transferred 7 million of my contracts to another 8A company and closed the business in 2005. And it really pushed me to my passion because I did not want anyone to go through with what I went through. So I volunteered as a SCORE counselor, which is a resource partner of SBA. I'm very strategic in what I do. After 2 years as a counselor, I ended up running out of money, applied for a position at SBA. I was hired in Philadelphia, and that office is the office that process applicants to get into this program. My job was to service the businesses once they got into the program. After 4 years in Philadelphia, I relocated here in 2012 to be closer to my home in North Carolina. And while I was at this office, they required that we become certified as a contract specialist. And for me, that was the missing icing on the cake, meaning I had run a business for 10 years in that program and gotten their loan program. I had serviced these businesses, but I wasn't quite sure how these agencies actually pull together these contracts for you to compete on. So by becoming certified as a contract specialist, it allowed me to get the full scope of how this game worked. I've trained more than 10,000 businesses on how to market to the federal government, and proudly, I have assisted small businesses in our community to win over 1.5 billion in contracts across various industries. I've also self-published a book called That's Crazy, Recognize Crazy and Run. And it's all documenting the craziness of that business. It's that this what happened in that business is something no one taught me. So that was one of the reasons that I came out and began this training. But all of that was based on a lot of the insights that I saw working at SBA. Meaning, I would come in and give them give the information on SBA's programs, tell you to go get registered, to do business with the government, get all these certifications, and everybody will leave excited, but they're not quite sure what to do with the information once they process the information. And it's the same thing with these government agencies. These government agencies did not have a clue about how SBA operates. Everybody's siloed. And SBA is a major, major factor in this equation. And what I realized working at SBA was that nobody at SBA have run a business, nor their resource partners. So all of them were really limited on being able to assist small businesses on how to grow their business. They were W-2 employees, and they were there to check boxes for the most part. And so, what I realized the challenges for small businesses coming into this space is the government is assuming that you understand their language. They use a lot of acronyms, and they are again assuming that you understand what they are talking about. What I realized with my resource partners as a SCORE counselor, the Apex centers, the women's centers, everything was information based. Nobody was teaching people the process. No one's quite sure what certifications they are qualified for. And then what type of documentation is SBA looking for once you start applying into these programs? So when I look at this, understanding no one talks to each other. The database that you registered to initially do business with the government, which is sam.gov, is managed by another agency, and then SBA has their own database. And you have to register in both of those databases. Otherwise, you're not going to get the opportunity. Also, what I realized, and that's just recently, I spoke with this young lady. She was like, well, I registered in SAM and I'm selling products. So I was trying to figure out what agency is will buy my product. Hmm. And that's the mindset of corporation. They're telling you to brand yourself, stay in your lane, and that's how you get into the door. Whereas in the government way and GPI way, we're helping you to understand, looking at the budget each year, what is the government buying? Then you create your marketing strategy based on what the government is buying and not necessarily based on your skill set. You're going to keep hearing me say that because I have to deprogram everyone because we've been trained to build a business based on our skill set. And when you look at the education system and the degrees, it's based on you going to work for someone. I have MDs that are coming through here that are tired doing their skill set. No one has taught them how to grow that business. The same thing with MBAs. You have the MBAs, but they're teaching you to go work for a corporation. So when you look at the budget, and this is part of the very first session that I have businesses to start with. And with AI, that's our equalizer. Regardless of what they're doing, this AI is the game changer. And we've got to learn how to leverage it to get into this game. So based on that, I put it in my AI agent and asked what contracts, I mean what contracts are going to be awarded by what agency and what industry. So when I look at the industry, does any of this fit with any of what you all do on this third column? Can you see yourself in any of those specific industries that they've identified? Anybody?
We were, sorry, excuse me. We were actually looking into medical supplies at one point and equipment distribution. Also, we were looking into construction support as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Anybody else?
The healthcare IT. I'm a nurse by profession. Probably with something I'll be interested in.
Okay, thank you. Tony, only man representing. Tony,
Can you all hear
I'm
me?
not sure. Your mic isn't working.
Can you all hear me now? Is this better?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
We're doing commercial cleaning, so I don't think that there's anything here that I see.
They do what?
Commercial cleaning?
That's janitorial services.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to go across every agency.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm.
It's learning the language. What you call something and what the government call is something completely different.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right.
And so what I realized is why I quit my government job was that no one was really teaching our community on how to get into this game. So I created this whole program based on my first business and based on what I saw and learned at SBA. And the very first thing that we help you to do is do not limit your business. Running a business has nothing to do with your skill set. Hear me. You can't pigeonhole yourself. There's no need. The government buys everything. And I say that because after winning that first $1 million contract in that first business doing event planning, I had employees on there that was doing it. I wasn't doing event planning. I was managing the business. And my mentor told me, why are you pigeonholing yourself? And when he said that, it made sense based on the companies I'd gone through. So in this space, everybody's management consulting. So I created divisions. I created an administrative division. I created an IT division. I created a communication division. I created a database division. And guess what? Once I created those divisions, I started getting contracts in that space. We've got to change our mindset on business. We push our children to again, I like to use in the NBA as an example. We push our children to become LeBron and Stephon. And I'm saying to them is if LeBron and Stephon is making $200 million, how much is the owner making? And does the owner need to know anything about basketball? Absolutely not. And what is the owner's goal? Every year, someone tell them. What's their mission?
Make a profit.
And how are they doing it?
Using the
Winning
talent.
games and getting to championship.
Huh?
Winning games and getting to the championship.
But before they get to winning games and the championships, what they have to do?
Hire
Hire the
hire
best.
Yep.
Find the 5 best players to put on the team. That's the same thing that you're doing in this government contracting space. This is how America makes money. They make money off of the labor. Hear me. So if I hire you at $30 an hour for this position, I'm billing the government at least $45 or $50 an hour. So think of government contracting as a big staffing company and project management. So regardless of what the contract is, the process is still the same. Meaning, my job as the owner is to find the subject matter experts that have the skill sets to be that can perform on that contract. They're called contingency hires. Huh? Are y'all with me?
Yes.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yes.
We got to get out of our skill set. You cannot build a business if you're working in the business. It will never happen. That's how I grew that first business so quickly. My challenge was I didn't know anything about business. I went from a project manager to running a multi-million-dollar company. My goal is to make sure you have the foundation to support that business. Everybody want to skip that part and get to the contracts. But if you win the contract and you're engaged and you don't understand the rules of engagement, you're already sinking yourself. So my goal is to make sure that you have the foundation and understand what you're getting into before you win that contract. You don't want to be sued. Second, understanding in this space, collaboration is key. all of SBA's programs, and all of these contracts are designed for us to work together. But we've been trained to pit against each other. So in my second module, I put everyone into teams. You've got to work together. At that point, I'm the government, and you have to be able to deliver these items at the end of that module. It's about understanding it's too hard to do this by ourselves. And right now, we need each other, like our life depended on it. Hear me now. The house is on fire. Third, you must have the infrastructure in place. What do I mean by infrastructure, someone? Anybody? What do I mean by infrastructure?
Business format, LLC corporation.
Anybody else?
Funding.
Anybody else?
Staffing resources.
Accountant and attorney. Y'all heard I got sued. I was dealing with 5 attorneys at one time. As soon as you hire a W-2 employee, or before you hire a W-2 employee, you need to make sure you have what they call employment practice liability insurance. Employment practice liability insurance. That's insurance that's outside of your general business insurance. You have to, had I had that insurance, that would have paid out the partner's buyout and covered my attorney fees. This is something that nobody tells you. Make sure you understand what you're getting into. The employees know the law better than you do, believe me. So when you look at the federal government, do you want anybody know when the federal government starts its fiscal year, ends its fiscal year?
October 1st through September 30th.
October 1st to September 30th. Very good. So for you as a small business, there's a time, Pacific time that you want to market to the government. Because between October to February or March, these agencies are operating on a continuing resolution, meaning they have not been fully funded. So they're limited with what they could spend. But right now, between July, August, and September up in DC, we call it Christmas season. Because you know the government has to spend all their money by September 30th. So right now, this is the peak time for bidding, and nobody's really trying to talk to you at this time. And where I say it's to our advantage right now is because the amount of people that they laid off last year on the government. Meaning they don't know what they're doing, but their work did not go away. They still need the work. We just have to get engaged. Why federal contracts? Every year, the federal government or SBA set goals for each agency. 23, as a whole, 23% of contracts have to be set aside for small businesses. 5% if you're woman-owned, 5% for participants in this program, 5% for service disabled, 3% for HUD-zone. So the more certifications that you have, you're helping the agency achieve their goals. Right now in this environment, we've been trained to lead with our certifications. We no longer can lead with our certifications. We now have to open up, and you should anyway. You should start out that I am a small business. And by the way, I have these certifications as a contracting vehicle. but you always want to talk about the services that you're offering under that small business. Over here, SBA tracks, and I need to update this chart. How much is being spent for small businesses? And you can actually go to this website and you can see the most current the scorecard for each agency. And so that's in the very first session. I'm having you all look at the budget, and then you're looking at which agency did not meet their goals. That's going to be a strategy. You want to target those agencies that did not meet their small business or certification goals. And then what I realized when I left that DC DMV area was that people outside of that area had no clue. I grew up in it. As I said, I left after college at 25. I went to DC and everybody was in it. I was like, "Ooh, what y'all doing up here? Y'all free." Because everybody was a part of this program. That's why you have the most wealth up in PG County. Everybody. And when I came to Philadelphia, I mean, when I moved to Philadelphia and when I moved here, just looking at the sheer number in the state, and this was at February this year, there's no competition. Are y'all hearing me? You have businesses from DC coming here to win. And what do we have here in Georgia? Someone. What federal agencies are here in Georgia?
CDC.
Number one. Anybody else? The state of Georgia. 5 military bases. What's downtown behind the Peachtree Center? Isn't there a federal building? The Russell building? So everybody here, as far as I see, is a gold mine. So, and that's still looking as you're looking at Virginia. See, the same numbers in Virginia and Maryland. So that's almost what 1,300 businesses between the two states. They're coming here, no competition. So I would tell when I was working at SBA, I would tell those 8A firms, go to the other states. Less competition. Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina. I think the numbers are even lower. In every state that has a military base, there's going to be a government contract. Hear me. Every state have a federal courthouse. So when I tell people not to pigeonhole yourself and how you can start out, this is the website again where opportunities are posted. The government buys everything, just as small business. And then I put this slide in here because I started thinking, oh, how can I get people in my community more engaged in helping them to understand how they fit in here? And what industries in my community do they typically have services in? So most of us, we have hairstylists, barbers. Uh, Mr. Ellis, you already said over here, we got caterers. Somewhere in here is where we tend to fit. Even I say t-shirts, right? Vendors. We always selling t-shirts. The government buys t-shirts, military bases, commissary. They do, they need stylists in these agencies. I had a young lady, her background was IT. Her first contract she won was downtown at the federal prison, supplying barbers Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Do I need to be a barber to submit on these contracts, someone? Are y'all hearing me?
Yes, we are.
All right, I want the church to hear me and what I'm talking.
Amen, sister.
Huh? Is it making sense to you what I'm saying?
Yes, it is.
Anybody else? Here was the opportunity that came out. Do I need to know anything about exhibition services? Absolutely not. I'm just going to find a vendor up in Great Lakes, St. Lawrence. No, that's the corporation, but it's to support this agency, DOT. Whoever knew that this fell under the DOT, but I can find somebody here, and I think it's one that just came out last week. Do I need to know anything? And are y'all hearing me?
Yes, we are.
Amelia, you the only one. I don't think the rest of the church members hearing me. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying?
Amen. Amen.
And is this making sense to y'all?
It is.
It is, because nobody has taught us. They say start your business in your little skill set. So how do we start this space? You, the first place is you self-certify in SAM, Systems for Awards Management, as a small business. You also can self-certify as a small disadvantaged business. Although a lot of agencies don't use this self-certification because once you get into this program, you're automatically classified as a SDB. These are the 4 programs that require application and you're approved by SBA. The 8A Business Development Program. This is the program that's currently being attacked. This is where, again, we've made most of our wealth. And although they are attacking it, I'm still going to ride it out till it's dead. And then you have the Hub Zone. We'll cover that, woman-owned and service-disabled veteran-owned businesses. This is the website that you go to determine which program you qualify for. I'm glad, and they just did this last year. They centralized everything into one portal. Previously, you had to go to different portals to apply for each of these programs. The 8A program is, again, a program to my heart because it is the only program that I know that is designed to build your business for 9 years. How does it build your business for 9 years? By allowing you to go to any federal agency and they can award contracts, and they've increased this amount up to $5.5 million with no competition. Did the church hear that?
Yes, we did. Just taking notes. We just taking notes.
No, no competition.
Just
That's
taking
how I
notes.
grew so quickly in that first business. That's why there's no need to pigeonhole yourself. Um, and this is the program that they are trying to tear up because although we're still not getting our whole percentage in it that we should be, but when I was growing up in it, everybody was in this program up in DC. HubZone is based on where your business is located. And as long as 35% of your employees reside in a hub zone and your business is in a hub zone, then you can qualify for this program. This program is designed to build communities. Previously in the 8A program, you automatically qualified if you were a member of these ethnic groups. They just now put out in the Federal Register where they are now saying this was discriminating against white men, and they want this completely eliminated from this program so that white men can get into this program. You can get into, they've always been able to get into it. They just have to provide evidence of how they've been discriminated against. So whoever wrote up this particular law for this program understood where they were coming at. It was always based on you being discriminated against, and they already identified that these ethnic groups were automatically discriminated against. So now, since SBA was sued 2 years ago, they now want you to describe how you've been discriminated against being Black in America in order to meet this component of the program. I'm okay, we can get past this, but this is still our tax dollars that are in this program. I'm gonna fight to the end. The other component of the program is 800, your economic net worth. It cannot exceed $850,000 minus any equity in your home and any equity in your business. So if you have a rental property or outside property, the equity in those properties will be counted against you. You also have to be full-time under the company in order for you, under your business, in order for you to qualify into this program. You also, what I've seen over the last 10 years, is that we're good for having 4 or 5 businesses. Me being on the inside of SBA and being the popo, that's the heartache for me. Because now I got to chase down where all your money is and do you exceed and really meet these qualifications. And so part of the program that I'm training you to do is put all of them under one umbrella. Whatever you want, you can put it under one umbrella rather than creating separate entities for whatever your new passion or heart is going to be. Secondly, if you are a real estate agent or broker, you cannot come into this program as a broker. Under your, do I have any brokers or real estate agents in that space here? Yes.
Yes.
You cannot, you cannot come in under that NAICS code, that industry code. So on your tax return, you should change your primary industry code to 541611. That code stands for pretty much project management. Mr. Ellis, you're going to change your code to facilities management because now you're going to be able to get more opportunities under that code than just janitorial. Does that make sense? Am I preaching to y'all? I told y'all I wanted to preach today.
Amen, sister. Amen, sister.
Mr. Ellis, did you hear what I said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We got to get in the game right. All right. Hold on. The HubZone, there's no term limit to that program. And previously in the 8A, because there was a 9-year term limit, I would tell people to wait. Wait until you understand the game because typically people get into it and don't understand the game and they waste 4 or 5 years. But right now, before they destroying it, as long as you meet the basic requirements right now, I want people to get into the program because again, my program has been very effective in leveraging a lot of millionaires and 1 billionaire to date. And part of our creed is when they start making their millions, they have to come back and share. It's about each one teach one. The HubZone program has no term limits associated with it. So if your business is located in a area that's designated as a hub zone and 35% of your employees reside in the hub zone, you can qualify into that program. You also see here competitive and sole source benefits. The difference between this program and the 8A program. And the only way that the agencies can do a sole source in this program, women's program, and the veterans program is based on having at least two qualified small businesses that in each of those programs that can perform on that contract. That's called the rule of two. Whereas in the 8A program, I could just walk into the agency, you in that program, boom. There was a contract, especially this time of the year. That's the only vehicle for them to get rid of money quickly. Because anytime you have to compete, you got to go through a whole process. And that's why I say they're not getting rid of the 8A program. We just got to get engaged and get in it. That's why it's disappointing when I see the numbers that are here in Georgia. That breaks my heart. I've been preaching this since I arrived on Planet Rock at 2012. This is the map where you can put in your address to determine whether or not you are part of the hub zone. Now, if my business is in I have a home-based business and my address is located in a hub zone. Can I qualify into the program, someone? Yes?
Yes,
What makes me qualifying?
your location.
There's two components. And 35% of your employees. You're a full-time employee under your business. So you're making up that 35%. And hub zone does not necessarily always have to mean hood zone. You look at downtown where I used to work at the SBA on Peachtree, and they changed it. I need to look that up to see if they've changed it and redesignated it. Because they're saying it expired. It's all based on the Census Bureau. That's why all this activity with redlining, voting, all of that stuff, it all ties together. It really does, and it ties to that census tract. So here you can see downtown DC where you have the hotel district. Why do you think this is a hub zone here? Why is Peachtree Center a hub zone? Anybody? And wasn't it a shelter around the corner?
Mm.
Yeah, it's a shelter all around Sweet Auburn. All of that was underserved communities.
Mm.
For the women's program, it's broken down into two components: EDWOS, economically disadvantaged, and they use the same criteria for the 8A program. Your net worth cannot exceed that $850,000 threshold. Once you apply as a ED, you're automatically as a WOSB. And again, this is where you're going to certify for both of those programs. It doesn't take that much for you to qualify into this program. I was at SBA when this program became the law, and that was in 2012. And guess who was calling up trying to see about this program? All the men trying to make their women the 51% owner so that they could, again, get more contracts. Understand how this game is played. And it's the same thing I say with the 8A program. And I'll give you an example of one of my proteges that's done quite well. She was a real estate broker. She came in, we changed her business model. She did quite well in the program. And then she diversified in 2012 and got an Amazon contract, opened up a location in Charlotte, leveraged the revenue between her contracts and Amazon to buy 23 acres of land in her home country Guyana, and now she's building a whole city over there. But at the same time, she had her son in her business, and he was a veteran. I said, make him a service disabled veteran now. Start subcontracting to him. So when you graduate, those contracts now flips to him. Did y'all hear the game right there?
Okay, I understand that part now.
That takes 18 years now. She will be having access to those sole source contracts that aren't ever advertised on SAM.gov. They don't have to. I don't think the church is here, and I'm pouring my soul out to y'all this morning.
I don't think I understand. Could you go back over that again?
Okay.
How does she pass
So,
it on to him?
huh?
How does she pass it on to him?
Because he now has his own business. She's graduated. He now can apply into the program, and now he gets 9 years into the program. So
Mm,
that's 18 years between the two companies.
got it.
That's how they did in DC. Everybody was grandfathered in. That's the game. Does that make sense to y'all?
Yes.
All right. Blessings, Rhonda. Does that make sense?
100%.
Okay.
Can we start now?
You can. You can. Well, I want folks to, because right now we're in a fight for our life. And I refuse for them. And I think once y'all understand this, those are still our tax dollars. And for me, I understood that at 25. Let me cut out the middleman. It's our tax dollars that go to Congress and they turn into these contracts. That's how the money is made. So do I have any veterans online?
Yes.
Thank you, sir, for your service. Are you certified in SAM as a service disabled veteran?
I don't know how to do it, but I'm hoping to learn from this class.
Okay. That right now, your your sacrifices for this country right now get ready to pay out because you're the top king right now. They trying to shift 8A work to service disabled veterans. And in the VA, you're the only you get sole source. VA is the only one that does sole source contracts specifically to veterans. So understand the game and let's get in. You also, any large business that obtain any contracts as a prime from the government, state and corporate have to have subcontracting goals. So there's different ways to get into this game. So for the veterans program, you're just going to go and scan that. Go ahead, you can start doing that now because it only takes you 6 weeks to get approved into that program. That program is going pretty quickly. The other programs, because they're trying to mess with things that shouldn't be, it's taking a little longer. As an example, for the 8A program, they only approved 325 firms in the last year and kicked out almost 1,000 or more. They are vicious, but right now they're still our tax dollars. We got to fight like they still in it. Y'all wouldn't let anybody steal your dollars. I mean your money. You know what I mean? We need we need to get mad and get into the game. So it's just a checklist, and we go into more details about this program as well. So when you think about these certifications, we the most certified community and educated community that I know. But it's a trick, these certifications. These MB, all these E's don't allow you to be your own boss. SBA and their resource partners will always tell you you're not ready to compete on federal contracts. Start local, go to your state, and even maybe go to your corporations. The challenge with corporations is you can market to them for years, but you don't know who the buyer is, where their money, how much money they have. For the state, you're always going to be a subcontractor, and those certifications are administered through Department of Transportation or MARTA, and then you're going to have local certification. And so, if you think of it logically, local and state, you're competing with a larger pool of people. On the federal, I don't have to. I can be here and win a contract in California, all right? And they have contracts that are specifically for small businesses. So I'm going to take y'all to two websites before I get into the business of business and the program. This is the website that I like to use. I don't like sam.gov. That's where it's the official website, but this is free. It has a lot of ads, but it's easier because it's it's posted every day. I like to say I'm shopping. So if you go to Sam Daily, I go to fbodaily.com because that's what I've been doing for the last 30 years. But anyway, it's going to bring you to this site, and then you're going to click on CBD archives and click on the year 2026. And then it breaks it down by month. So I can go in here and see every day what is the government buying. And so let me open it up so when I look at it, it's structured in two phases based on the government's acquisition. The first stage of the government is what they call a source of salt notice. That's what you all will be responsible for coming together and responding to in the second module. Source of salt is the government's doing their market research to determine, is there first enough small businesses out here? Are there any women on? And based on that response, determines the next stage phase of the acquisition. We're going to set this aside for small businesses or women on or 8A or based on who's responding. I like this because it's categorized by alphabet. Alphabet is industry, and then parts and equipment is numbers. And so when I look at here, I'm always going to this letter because that's a catch-all, and that's what you're going to be doing in the first module is mirroring your business model based on what the government's buying. Hear me now. Put in the chat. It's not about my skill set. It's not about my skill set. It's about what the government is buying. So I go in here every day and look at things, what the government buying. So they're looking for a medical coder in a source of salt notice, right? Didn't somebody say they were healthcare? Is that healthcare?
Yes.
So now you know people that do medical coding in that business, right? And then I go down here, is the solicitation. Again, the government buys everything. I'm always looking at social services just to see what they are buying. So I have one young lady. She's doing she's a mortician at night, right? Come on. Oh, you need somebody. You don't even have to be the mortician, right? You're going to project manage. You're going to find you a mortician, find out what service they use for transportation and put your bid in. Are y'all hearing me? And put your markup on. The government buys everything. When I look here, and I was looking at this particular opportunity. All this is admin. That's the first thing that came out. That's here. I click on it, and it's going to give me the industry code that this opportunity is falling. It's due August 17th. And guess what? It's just a small business set aside. I can compete on this without any certification. I always go down to the bottom to go to sam.gov. That's where the official link is. And now it's going to show me what they're looking for. What is that, y'all? What kind of person am I looking for?
A
Customer.
receptionist.
Come on. So I pay her $50,000. I'm billing the government, maybe not, maybe 40. I don't know what their average salary is now. I would find that out. And then I would pay that person and double my amount to the government. All of it's here, and they're going to tell you what the schedule is and how much the minimum you have to pay. That's the low-hanging fruit that I call those 250,000 and below. So let's see right now. I'm just going to do a quick search of RFQs, requests for quotes. Those are the buys that are, again, 350,000 and below. Those are specifically set aside for small businesses. So now you go and look what RFQs out there, because I just want to get my feet wet. It's government buying. And who do I know that can perform the service? All right. Conference support services. I know that's 350,000 and below. Let me see what contracts are out here in Georgia. Hold on. That's the only thing that bugs me with this website is all those ads. So here is showing you what contracts are currently out here in Georgia. So when I look at what's been awarded with Middle State, I would look, that's facility, right? Mr. Ellis, you know, they've been awarded a facility contract. So I would be reaching out to them and seeing, do they need some subcontracting opportunities? You're trying to get your feet wet in the game. The government buys everything. Y'all have any questions around this particular website and opportunity? See, this is the low-hanging fruit to me. That's run and done. I'm going in and replacing some fire alarm fire. Any questions? And did this open your eyes? They need meeting space. Yeah, anybody?
No, we're good.
Now I'm getting ready to take y'all to another website. This is that's what's currently out. This website is going to show you what the government has previously bought. This is where all your tax dollars are being traced. So they're showing you right now how much has been spent per year. And so often we tend to want to start in the nonprofit side. On the nonprofit, you're always begging. I had a nonprofit, but the whole purpose of being in business is to keep your tax dollars. So I had a contract supporting grants. And I understand it was the same money, but different results. So that's why I opened up a nonprofit. So I knew when my for-profit started making money, I could dump money into that nonprofit. Here it shows you where every dollar is being spent, grants as well as for contracts. Don't get confused. Contracts is doing the work, grants are to service your community. So, one of my students, that was a couple of years ago, her first contract was, hold on, hold on. Her first contract was, the setting up porta potties. Then she won another one. She was rolling. She won another one for 3 days. Hold on. For 3 days, I think I did it wrong. Confidence. Hold on. Confidence. Let's see. I need to. All right. It's confidence and motion management. Now let's do it. You can see all the contracts that were. Now let's submit. Now you're going to see all the contracts that she's won, right? Lawn maintenance, she won a contract picking up uniforms in Hawaii. This was one of her first contracts. The government needed a 3-day event space, right? 3 months, run and done. That's what I call. She found a hotel space. The hotel cost was $48,000, and she put her cost in at $104. She won. And then when you go down, you can see the history. And the history shows only one. Y'all see that? Can y'all see this?
Only one offer received.
No competition. Especially now, they just trying to get that money spent. They have to. Otherwise, they're going to lose it. This, she was delivering porta potties. I think it was 8,000. She made 4,000 off of it. Here, she's located here in Georgia, but her contract was doing landscaping in Florida. And then it shows how much is being paid each year. Are y'all following me? Are y'all out of y'all skill set here, huh? Any questions?
Yeah, so you don't necessarily have to be in a location or have the staff in that location to get the work done.
No, you're just going to subcontract it out. You're going to find a contractor that does landscaping in Florida. You're going to be the in-between man. Is that hitting you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Yep. And again, what I did in our first business, I took all the templates. I took everything in that first business. Again, I had 40 employees, 15 million in contract, and created templates. And teaching you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just follow the blueprint. Everybody's doing the same thing, and it's okay. There's no differentiator. There's no differentiator. There's too much work out here. So people want to know, well, how do I make money? So this was a contract. I came in second. Because it was $28 million. It was a 5-year contract. And again, the government is not expecting me as a small business to have all these people waiting on this contract. They allow me to screen and find the best skill sets to perform on that contract. And that's who I was competing on. So here's the hourly salary. And then every year we get a raise. And then here, as we got more contracts, I started putting the partner's salary in there to lower my overhead contract costs so that I could be more competitive. So I started putting hours in there to cover my costs. Here, the government knows that it's going to cost me to hire these people. They're going to reimburse me for the benefits. Here, they know there's expenses associated that they're going to reimburse me for them. That's where my salary came out. The partner's salary came out. I had an office. My rent came out of that. Here was what they call pass through, the direct costs. I had a subcontractor. That was their cost. And then there's another pool that they're going to reimburse me for that my salary came out of. And I needed an accountant and a bookkeeper to process all the travel arrangements. Their salary came out of that. And then in the end, this would have been my profit. Y'all hear me? My profit for the year. Had I won, I would have had 1.2 million just on that one contract for profit. We can't even think that big, right? I want y'all to think big. There's enough money out here for everybody. We don't have to compete with each other. We have to understand how to collaborate. And if this contract was a part of the 8A program, you're going to connect with a company that had that contract, they can't keep it, and then they flip it. I didn't do all of this. The company that had it for 5 years had the proposal, they had the cost. This was their cost. They flipped it. All right. Any questions on what I've just covered before I get to the business part?
Just to clarify, you said you made $1 million profit on that. So that means it's a 5-year contract. So you got 200,000 each year.
I got this right there. You see? That's the fee. It was 7.5% fee.
Oh, so that's each year. So each year you walked away with 367.
That is correct. And it got an increase because each year there was inflation.
Mm-hmm.
You see how we're increasing it each year for the 5 years?
And just so I'm clear, that's not your labor.
Huh?
That's not what you're paying for your labor or your
Nope. All that's covered up here.
So
Okay.
that's your net each year.
That would be my net. That's my take home. And my salary's not coming out of that because all that's covered up front. Y'all got quiet on me. What you think? Huh? What y'all thinking?
How do you know how much you're gonna go ahead and find a subcontractor for?
Huh?
So you have a number here at line 27, subcontractor 1.3,
Huh?
column H,
Uh-huh.
line 27.
Okay.
You have that you're paying your subcontractor 1.3.
That's what they said their cost would be.
How do you know that you're going to be able to find a subcontractor for that amount?
And they had the contract. They brought the contract to me. I was 8A. They couldn't
Oh,
qualify.
got it.
They
Got it.
already knew what the cost would be. They did this proposal. They wrote
Got
the
it.
proposal. They provided the cost.
Got it.
Anybody else?
Could you explain that a little bit deeper? So when you work with it, they come with a proposal with all their pricings already included?
when I worked with, what was the question again?
When you worked with the 8A, you said
When I
that
was
they.
a participant in the 8A program,
Mm-hmm.
the company that had this contract was also a previous participant. They had graduated from the program, which meant they could not keep this contract. So they had to find a company like me who was in the program to be able to at least keep some of their revenue rather than losing it, because it would have had to go to another 8A company. They couldn't keep it. And it's hard to unseat the incumbent. Why I lost was somebody, my mentor actually, he won the contract. He outbid me on the cost. I lost on cost by 200,000. So it's a game. Any questions? Any other questions? Anybody?
No, but thank you for the clarification.
It's a game changer. Oh, hold on. So let's get down to the cohort. The cohort's going to start on the 30th, and it's broken into 3 modules. Business ready. Although you may have gone through all of this, I want you to think of this as if it's a new startup. You've got to learn the language. I want you to make sure you have the right paperwork when you start applying into SBA's programs, because I created templates. You may have to change your name, because I don't want your name to pigeonhole yourself into a specific industry, because the government buys everything. So the first module, you're looking at what they're buying, you're creating a business model. I like to say dressing up so that you can look like everybody for teaming opportunities. And then you're gonna, by the 6th week, I would hope that you can start competing on contract. The sixth set, that
I'm
very
so,
last
I'm
section.
sorry, Paula, to interrupt you. I have a question. I think I missed something. When you said about changing your business,
The
does it
business
matter?
name.
Business name, I mean, yes, I'm sorry, your business name. Being a realtor, all of my businesses have something to do with real estate. Does the government care how long the entity has been in existence?
No,
Okay, perfect.
but
Okay,
there's
that's
different components. You can,
okay.
it's 2 years. If you haven't been in business for 2 years, you have to meet a waiver requirement. But the minimum requirements for the 8A is 2 years. But everything else, the small business, as soon as you register in SAM, you can, without any certifications, you can go after contracts that I was just showing you.
And
Perfect. Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted to be clear on. Thank you.
and does that apply also to the disabled veteran?
You have to be approved by the veterans, but once you go through SAM will take you maybe about 2 weeks to complete and be approved.
Got it.
All right. But I want you going in there and not be complete, meaning I don't want the pigeonhole. You're going to have to go through the exercise of identifying industry codes. By the time you're through, you should have at least 25 to 30. Ms. Morgan, the real estate industry, those are your industry tends to be the ones that I've seen over the last 10 years, or maybe that's because I was connected with NARAB, are the ones who are the most successful. Y'all used to the grind. I call y'all industry hope and prayer. Lord, we hope we get to the closing table. But all that you do is transferable skills. Everything that the government buys is transferable. And then I have some. I'm gonna invite you all to the school community, because again, people have to come in and come back and share. So the first module is about you dressing up and looking like everybody else. Second module is all around strategy, using those databases that I was beginning to show you. The third module is all specifically around SBA's Mentor Protege program. Have you heard of the Mentor Protege program?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
No.
you can look that up. That's the game changer. Since they playing with the 8A program, we're going to, and I have always said that, leads you to identify a potential mentor. You're going to be looking for a mentor that has generated and won contracts anywhere between 250 and 500 million. I had a company, he actually got in under the 8A waiver. He's on my website. Um, he came to me. I said, "You gotta find your mentor." He found him a mentor in DC. I helped him get into the program. They immediately created a joint venture. The next year, his very first contract was $53 million through the joint venture. She had it. She had the people, she had the relationships, she had the banking. That's the game. You get to leverage someone else's revenue in order to put your business on steroids. Did y'all hear me?
Yes.
It makes sense. We can crawl or we can run. And this way you're going to run. That's the game. The next class, hold on, is going to start next Thursday, June 30th, from 8 to 9:30 p.m. You're going to be meeting with me every week. I would recommend if you participate, make sure you allocate at least 2 hours a week outside of the classroom because I have office hours on Tuesday. I may go into deep from 6 to 7. And then I may have master class where I'm bringing in others. So it's pretty holistic. I want you to have a holistic approach. Right now, I'm going to bless everyone because the normal rate is 24.27 and the standard early bird is 22, but I decided to go with a 500 discount for 1997. If you partner with someone, even if it's here, it's 34.97 for the two. So it's 17.50 each. You just need to let me know that you're going to partner with each other and I'll send you a separate invoice that will cover the cost. Um, Again, every Tuesday from 6 to 7, you're going to have a capability statement. I'll go over into more depth of things that I may not cover during the 15 weeks. And then all the classes come together so that the people that are ahead of y'all that are currently in the April and June class can tell y'all calm down because everybody gets overwhelmed and freaking out in that first session because I'm shifting everybody's mindset and sending their capability statement back. It's homework, it's real work, but it's all applicable towards your business. But I want you all to look like everybody else. We've been trained to look differently. No, no, you need to look like everybody else because now you're going to be able to have a conversation. These are some of the things that will be you will be responsible for in that first module. Creating a business model that's not necessarily on your skill set, creating a capability statement that's matching your business model, and understanding how you're going to play the game. And here is the team deliverables that folks had to come together and present to me because I'm in the government and everyone has to want work together. Also, here is a free community that I've created. It's called, let me go to it. It's the school community after people have graduated, this is where we go to post opportunities. We have tribes by your industry. Um, and right now we have 307, and we're talking about different opportunities that are posting, and people are looking for opportunities. This is a way for that we connect here. This right here talks about the Mentor Protege program. She was the one who was one of the architects of that program that started in 2018. This is a way for me to, again, continue to connect with the community. This young lady, she was in construction. Started out as the plumbing shop when I met her. Now she's quality assurance management and she has almost $30 million in contracts. I mean, 20 million in bonding. She's killing it. So the whole goal is to understand how to play. This young lady, last year, she went from 200 clients doing catering to 2,000 clients once she got certified. We rolling over here. Um, yes, I'm proud of what we're building. Anybody else have any? Let me get I'm gonna send y'all invitation to it. Anybody else have any questions? If not, what's some takeaways? What's some takeaway? Anybody? All right, y'all gonna make me
To
call
tap
on Miss
into
Morgan.
your
Miss Morgan,
yeah,
what was your takeaway?
yes,
Huh?
yes, that you need to tap into your resources, like really do a brain dump of everyone that you know and what they do, so that
Yes,
when you're scrolling,
yes.
just casually scrolling, you're like, oh, you already have at top of mind who can do this and who can do that.
And you think here, the dominant industry is entertainment. So I had actually, have you all heard of Malik Yoba? He was on Why Did I Get Married?
Yes.
I had him come through the program because again, videos, hearing all these entertainments, all of these reality shows, they're not really making no money, but they got a production crew. That's how we play this game. All right, Tony, what was your takeaway?
Lots of opportunity. Just got to know how to write the language to make sure you find the opportunities that's for you.
Mm-hmm. Amelia, what was your takeaway?
It is something that can be achieved. You just have to make sure you do your research, tap into your resources. And if you got a partner, you partner, but just make sure you set yourself up that if all fails, you can come out victorious on the next end as well.
Okay. Blessing. Blessing. I'm not sure what's going on. And I have somebody that's iPhone 40. Who's iPhone 40?
That's my sister.
Okay.
She's a little unavailable right now.
Okay. All
Thank you.
right. Well, I'm gonna put my number in the chat. If anybody have any additional questions, please do put your information in if I don't have it in the chat. I'm gonna mail this recording and the special link for the $500 discount. And hopefully I'll have right now we have 7 people that have already signed up for that class. So we're ready to go. Anything else? Anybody? Is somebody listening?
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
The class is 15 weeks, 15 different modules.
Yes.
If we're unavailable,
It's recorded. It's
okay.
recorded. You still have to do your homework. I'm
Okay.
serious about my homework. It's recorded.
So,
So
so not being available for the live class is not, you would not be missing
yeah,
anything.
no, nope. Everything is through Google Classroom,
Okay.
and everything is recorded. Huh?
And I may have missed this part too. As we go through this process, or is the end, are we, I guess as we get closer to the end, are we going to start like trying to get a contract while we're still part of this, or we have to wait till the end
Oh
or we're done?
no, oh no, I want you to do it as soon as you have that cage code and you got the right codes. That's that
Okay.
first 6 weeks.
Okay, perfect. I'm ready. Can you tell? Okay.
How'd you hear about us, Rhonda?
Lead to Taste.
To who?
Lead to Taste, the networking group.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Oh,
Mhm.
anybody else? Any other questions? Well, with that being said, I am conscious of everyone's time and it's 10:56. I appreciate you all coming and joining me, and hopefully I've impacted and hopefully your eyes are wide open. This is real out here. It's real. We just gotta learn how to play the game. That's all.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you for allotting this time to us to teach us. It was very helpful and we have taken away a lot. So we're just grateful. Just wanted to say thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And iPhone, who is Shanice Green, who undercover. Is she still on the plantation?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, I'm just feeling sick.
Huh?
I'm just feeling a little sick.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're gonna get